Hey guys, it's Di from Being Mommy with Style and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about a topic that I normally avoid like the plague. I normally never talk about anything financial, political, religious, any of those sorts of things on my channel. I try to keep it fun and light and focus on travel and family and mommy and all those fun things. Wow. But today I'm going to talk about a financial topic, not because I'm changing to a financial channel or anything of those means, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit and do like a pre-video because one of the things I get asked the most during Disney vacations, before Disney vacations, planning videos, now on old videos that are playing in the background, one of the things I get asked the most is, how do you budget for a Disney vacation? How do you plan for that? How do you pay for that? How do you go so often, etc., etc. So I'm going to do a whole video dedicated to that, but I felt like that video almost needed a little bit of a backup and precursor video because I've talked about this on my channel before, but I haven't talked about it in probably 3 or 4 years. So as the cycles on YouTube go, typically your audience turns over every 6 months or so. A lot of you guys are probably newer to my channel, and there's probably only a small percentage, like 10 of you, that remember watching those videos or that video, how many ever videos it was, from like 3 or 4 years ago. So today we're going to talk about family budgeting, and today I'm going to put a little bit of a spin on it. Family budgeting with 2 incomes, and I'm also going to talk about when I was a stay-at-home mom as well, because that plays into it. So one of the questions I would always get in the early days when I was a stay-at-home mom is like, how do you guys budget? How do you plan? How do you do what you do as a stay-at-home mom? I got a lot of questions geared towards that, and then those kind of fell away, I feel like, after people watched my channel for a while. And then obviously as my channel grew, I was pretty open about the fact that I got an income from doing YouTube. So I think after that was kind of out there, people stopped asking that question in particular. But I wanted to talk kind of about the fundamentals of what we did while I was a stay-at-home mom, because that carries over into now that I'm working and I still get an income from YouTube. It's kind of the brilliant thing about having a passive income is it still stays there and makes money for you regardless of whether you're kind of tending to it or not. And then also back in the workforce working in a marketing position, and I'm taking on new responsibilities. I'm very excited. I'll talk about it more, but I'm transitioning into like a marketing manager role. So that's exciting. So all these new things have happened. How has that affected our budget? It hasn't. So let me back up the truck and explain our family budgeting and how we did things when I was a stay-at-home mom and how that affects things now. So when I was a stay-at-home mom, we always based our bills and big expenses, like if we had any car payments, our house expense is obviously one of the biggest expenses I think anyone has, all those kind of big expenses on my husband's income. And obviously when I was a stay-at-home mom and before I was doing YouTube, that was our main income, our only income. And then once I started getting YouTube, our YouTube income was extra. So that would be the money that I would use for my personal things, saving it, or for travel and vacations. So a lot of what you saw with the vacations was, you know, from our YouTube vacation fund. But what I wanted to talk about with like budgeting and going into 2 incomes is that that doesn't change now that I have 2 incomes. So we still look at our extra income, like my second income, as vacation, savings, paying down things quicker. So one of our big goals in life is to rapidly pay off our mortgage, to like rapidly pay it down. And I'm really familiar with Dave Ramsey. We don't follow Dave Ramsey to a T because we don't do the envelope system. We don't do, like we have credit cards that we can put things on and then pay off. The position that my husband's in now, he does sometimes travel and then put things on his credit card and get reimbursed from the company. So we have those. I think Dave Ramsey says literally to cut them up, and that just would not be a possibility for us because he has to use the card, turn in the expense report, and then gets reimbursed or whatever. So those things happen and we use those for points and all that. But we do actually really like a lot of the principles of Dave Ramsey. So the whole idea of trying to pay things off quicker. And then when we were younger, we used the whole snowball idea to get rid of all that we possibly could. And that part really truly works. So the one thing that we don't like is carrying like cash on us. And so the whole envelope system has never worked for us. So we do use our debit card, but luckily we kind of just have a mental budget and we pretty much do pretty well, fairly well, at staying within it. I know that if we needed to be super stringent, the envelope system really does probably work the best. But for us, we have a general idea of how much we're going to be spending on food, on all those sorts of things, and then we kind of stay within it. So the main point there is that we, as a one income household, obviously based all of our bills and big expenses off of the main income, which at the time was my husband's. And now as a two income household, that hasn't changed. So some of the changes that we have coming up, as you obviously have heard and seen on my channel, I've alluded to it and most of you have already figured it out. There are some things that we would like to change in the future, whether it be in this specific location or in a different location or whatnot. The school situation is obviously something we're hoping will change. And then with this house, when we came into this house, we thought, what a great idea to downsize, and we could kind of do this whole big change at one time. And as it turns out, it was just a little bit too much. So we'd like to back off that a little bit. And one of the big things being the room that we're in right now, I'm sitting in my office / playroom. We thought we could get rid of the playroom, and as it turns out, we really miss having that room. And all four of us miss having that room. So we're gonna look at kind of resizing and trying to find the right size house to fit us. Another thing that's weird about this particular house is that the garages are really small. And I don't mean just like that there's like extra stuff in them and my husband's tool bench and stuff like that, because that's all out in our shed. Because we have extra, like, it's almost like a third car garage outside for storage. It's like when you pull your car inside, it's way too close to the wall. Like, we're used to having like these huge oversized garages. If you guys have been watching us since we lived in Illinois, you know that we had a 5-car garage, which was such an anomaly. We're not expecting to ever find anything like that again, obviously, because it was like a 3-car garage and then had an extension built on the back to put boats and ATVs and stuff like that in. So we're never gonna find, that was custom built, we're never gonna find something like that again. But having a garage where we can fully open both doors on both sides of all cars at one time is definitely gotten really high up the list, because there's nothing I hate more than hearing, you know, a door open and then clunk. So anyhow, but the point to all of this is that all that budget will be on one income. So then, kind of leading up to the Disney budgeting video, it's kind of important that I put that out there. I really hate talking about financial stuff because it's so particular, it's so specific to one person, one family, you know, one situation. Every single person's different, and I really try to avoid it. My friend Dana from Debt Free Dana has really awesome videos. If you want to watch a financial focused channel, go over and check out her channel. I'll try to remember to link it down below. It's Debt Free Dana. She follows Dave Ramsey a lot more stringently than we do. So she's got really great tips, and she does the whole enveloping thing and all that stuff. And they, I think, also have the goal of paying down their mortgage rapidly like we do. So she's a really great person to watch if you want to watch a financial center channel. That's not what I am. Because I do enjoy the, you know, vacation and, you know, item here and there. And obviously if we didn't go to Disney at all, that would be another probably $6-7 grand that I could knock down our mortgage. And we would pay it off faster, obviously. But at the end of the day, I feel like those breaks are important to us as a family. Those also are kind of a self-sustaining thing too, because it doesn't actually cost me that much, because sometimes it's hosted and sometimes it's partially hosted, and sometimes I'm making the money back from the videos. So in the end, it really doesn't cost me anything because I'm making the money back. So anyways, there's all those sorts of elements that kind of justify it in our minds. Plus we just need a break. We're not non-vacation people. So that's what works for us. And that's why I really feel like financial videos is not my wheelhouse, first of all, because I feel like you really have either just got to do it or not do it. Like, I can't come here and like talk about like what I like about Dave Ramsey when I don't do it 100%. That being said, I do work at a location that really has invested heavily in the Dave Ramsey culture, and I love that. We do the Entree Leadership Principles. We have Entree Leadership class that I do. So I'm really learning a lot about that Entree Leadership and how that culture really can kind of permeate through your life. We obviously take a lot of those things from the Dave Ramsey principles as far as trying to pay down our mortgage quicker and that sort of thing. But that being said, again, I'm not a financial channel. So the big thing that I want to just like talk about, because you know, it's really tough, because when I first started on YouTube, My husband obviously worked for an automotive company. I started YouTube not too long after there was a lot of things in the media about like how much people in the automotive industry were getting paid and was it justified and blah, blah, blah. And the automotive industry is like, it's a high expense, high pay industry, but it's also very high stress. So at the time, I just really didn't want to get into any of that, and so I really just avoided the subject altogether. And I don't really feel like I need to like justify our lives or anything like that, but I do want to kind of delve into like the ideas behind how you can make some of these things work in your life if you're interested in just kind of knowing how we do what we do. And so the biggest thing I would say as a stay-at-home mom or working mom, base all your bills off of the one main income. And if that's your, you know, your partner or whatever, then base it off of that. Then you have this extra income that's great as a fallback income. It's great as a savings income. It's great as a vacation income. It's great as a just whatever comes up income. And you have that as like a cushion. So you can pay down your mortgage faster. You can build up your savings faster. You can do all of those things, whatever your goals are, and you don't have bills based around it. So that's really worked for us, and I talked about it. I'll try to find the videos. I don't honestly remember what they are called right now, but I talked about it a bit when people had asked like the question, basically I think it was like, how are you a stay-at-home mom? It's like, well, all of our bills are based off his income. That's kind of how it works. But you know, I wanted to kind of relay that like even after you have two working parents, you can still use that principle and reach goals faster. And so I already see that happening. I already see us being able to hit goals faster, and so that's really exciting. And you know, I want to do like a little series coming up of like the transition, because it's not all easy going from stay-at-home to working mom. I really am excited about being a human adult back in the world again. That part is very, very exciting, but it obviously is a stress because I'm used to being in control of pretty much most of their day, and it's not all up to me anymore. And part of that is accepting help from my husband, and part of that is just allowing myself to accept help from other people. Like I never would have had to ask for help. Like they have a day off of school next week because they're out of school and it's before their camp starts. Before, as a stay-at-home mom, I wouldn't even had to worry about that. I just would have been home. Well, now we have to have someone watch them because I'm planning on being at work that day. My husband's planning on being at work that day. So it's just a little bit different. But in the end, if your financial goals are to pay down things quicker and really kind of like hammer down to like get that mortgage paid off like before you're 50 or 55 or whatever your goal is. We started late in the mortgage market. So that's basically where, you know, a realistic goal for us. But if you're younger, that goal may even be like a younger age. But that, you know, is what works for us. So I'm going to talk about saving for Disney in a separate video, but I wanted to kind of do this as a precursor video, as a kind of explaining what we've done in the past, what has worked for us, and what we're planning on doing going forwards, because it kind of relates directly back to like vacations and vacation planning and all those sorts of things as well. So let me know if you have any questions down below. If you want more financial videos, definitely go over to Debt Free Dana. She does an awesome financial series talking about things from all kinds of different financial gurus and different, you know, financial people or whatever. So you can check out more great information from her for great ideas on how to save and how to really hammer down on things like your mortgage and stuff like that. So check her videos out for sure. That's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.